to wash me away, a tide that is taking me under. Swallowing sand left with nothing to say, my voice drowned out in the thunder. But I won't cry, and I won't start to crumble. Whenever they try to shut me or cut me down, I won't be silenced, you can't keep me quiet. Won't tremble when you try it, all I know is I won't go speechless. 'Cause I'll breathe when they try to suffocate me. Don't you underestimate me, 'cause I know that I won't go speechless. Getting stone, every rule, every word, centuries old and unbending. Stay in your place, better seen and not heard. Well, now that story is ending. 'Cause I cannot start to crumble. So come on and try to shut me and cut me down. I won't be silenced, you can't keep me quiet. Won't tremble when you try it, all I know is I won't go speechless. Speechless, let the storm in, I cannot be broken. No, I won't live unspoken, 'cause I know that I won't go speechless. Try to lock me in this cage, I won't just lay me down and die. I will take these broken wings and watch me burn across the sky. Hear the echoes saying I won't be silenced. Don't you wanna see me tremble when you try it? All I know is I won't go speechless. Speechless, 'cause I'll breathe when they try to suffocate me. Don't you underestimate me, 'cause I know that I won't go speechless. All I know is I won't go speechless. Speechless.
Congratulations, guys. I can't really follow that one. Heidi, oh, there you are. I'm going to have Heidi come up and welcome our guest.
My notes here, let me stick my pocket. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming out today. I'm so happy we're able to be here in person after a little over a year. And I know it's hot, but let me see, I wrote some notes here. We're excited to be able to celebrate 5 more partnerships here today with some lovely people. I've been fortunate to spend some time with them, and we're celebrating Jasmine and Jewel and Aurorah and Hunter, Ryan and Dean, Julia and Zoe, and I don't know where, Shasta, Tabitha, and Landon. So thank you for coming to celebrate. Thanks for those that are watching online that weren't able to make it. Despite the pandemic and the loss of probably the greatest supporter, Lynn Ikenberry, this past year, Deb and Maria have not let down, and they have kept this organization running as strong as ever. It's been a challenge. We haven't been able to go into the prisons and work with our ABEL trainers, but because of their hard work before that and the amazing program they've developed in there, those guys have been able to keep the program running with Deb just working with them once a week remotely. So they have done a fabulous job in developing this program, and it just continues to grow. Another milestone is we have broken ground at our house here in Hillsborough, and look forward to moving there soon as well. So nothing has stopped them. They have kept the train moving, and it's really impressive. And thank you to all of the supporters, the trainers, the financial supporters, the cheerleaders, whatever you are. Thank you everyone for believing in EENP and helping us to stay strong. And thanks to all of the staff. I know there's a small crew, but they never stop. So Maria, Deb, Allison, wherever you are, Julie and Jen, there you are. Thank you guys for all of your hard work, because it is remarkable how much you do. It's around the clock. So congratulations to all of you guys. Congratulations to all of those that graduated in the fall that unfortunately we weren't able to be in person. But it's a special day, and I'm glad we're all back together again. So thanks everyone for everything you do.
I'm not going to say a whole lot because you guys are not here to hear me speak, and we have some really great speakers today. But I do want to take just a minute. I don't know how many of you know exactly what graduation is, but this marks the end of 2 weeks where we had 5 new clients come to EENP. Normally they would come to our office, but it's a pandemic and we have a tiny office. So Union Grove United Methodist Church, who is a local church that very generously gave us space to be outside and train our clients safely so that we could continue with training despite the pandemic. We spent 2 weeks there working with the clients, matching the dogs. The clients and the dogs worked really hard. There's some tears, some frustration, some joys. And today is the end of that training, and the clients are going forth into the world as new teams. And so we're here to celebrate the clients and the dogs, those teams, but also the training teams that made these partnerships possible. It has been a long road. These dogs have been in training for 2 years, and so there's a lot of work that went into them before they got to be placed with clients. So thank you for coming and helping celebrate all of that with us today. And as a start to this program that I'm really excited about, we're going to have a really special speaker. So with us today is Grady Meredith. Grady was one of the first 7 ABEL trainers back in 2015. So he helped us kick off our prison partnership at both ends of the leash, and he has recently been released from prison, and I believe he's about to be our newest employee, so we're really excited about being able to keep working with him on the outside. And the knowledge that he brings from having been inside the ABEL program and now being able to support it from the outside and being able to support the clients, this is just a really special moment for us to witness. So with no further ado, I'm going to invite Grady up to speak.
Hello, I'm Grady. Some of you know me, some of you don't. But what I want to say today is that the human side of this program is extremely important. Inside prison, it is just the greatest thing, because I'm a testament to the fact that these people care and they don't give up. Okay? They never gave up on me. When everyone in my life had given up on me, they never gave up. You know, I was approached a couple of weeks ago, and after 31 years, was given the opportunity to be released. Okay? So my support became these people. These people are my strength to be out here, to be able to be a part of this. You know, this is extremely important to me. You know, I left prison Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And by 12, I was standing in the church yard with these people. And they treated me like they had known me their whole life. For someone like me, that's important. Because where I come from, we don't get that treatment. Okay? And 31 years of that is hard to deal with. You know, this is new for me. This world is new for me. But I will tell you, Miss Ikenberry, Miss Deb, Maria, Jen, Allison, everybody, the clients, all of you guys, this whole community, right, has reached out to me to say, what do you need? Okay, how can I help? So you just had this thing in ABEL that they told us, how can I help? That was the question you asked. Not, what do I need, but how can I help? You know, these people changed my life in a lot of ways. You know, Deb wrote me a letter one time, a note and I've always kept it because it's always been a catalyst for times when I get in a bad situation. You are worthy of this thing called life. You are a person. You do mean something. Regardless of your situation, you mean something. But I just want to take this time to make sure that you guys, all the supporters in this program, outside and in, that these guys that are incarcerated, it's going to change some of these guys' lives. It's just going to change them for the good. You know, they're going to come out better people. So just know that your support for everything that these people do is tremendous. And again, I want to thank everybody for treating me like you have treated me. Like I said, I've only been out a week and a day. It's like 9 days, but I feel like I'm home, you know. But again, thank you for listening to me, and understand, just keep the support coming for this program. Thank you.
To be honest, when I met Grady about 6 years ago, I never thought that I would see him out here. So this is like, it's nutty, it's crazy, and it's wonderful. When I met Grady, he was going through a hard time, a hard patch in his life. And I'm not really sure how this happened, but like I came in and some of the other guys in the program were teasing Grady and saying that he lived in Gradyville, population 1. And I think that spoke to something that was going on in his life at that moment. And I talk a lot about community to the ABEL trainers, about community on the inside and how they have a community on the outside. So, Grady, I just wanted to invite you to the new Gradyville, which is population several hundred. Our next speakers are going to, they are past clients, and they actually have a super special relationship with this group of clients because they volunteered to take each one of these graduate dogs into their home and train with them for 2 weeks to test out their alerting skills before they came to client team training. Without any further ado, I'm going to invite Tracy and Zuzu Bersley and their service dog fella.
I know you see, Deb. Give me 1 second. They all want to say hi. Well, first, congratulations to all of you. This is the beginning of an amazing journey. My family was placed with Fella at the beginning of 2019 as a diabetic alert dog for both my daughter and I. We're both type 1. And 2+ years later, there are so many different stories to tell that I had to think really hard about the things today that stand out to me about both this union and the organization. And I was reminded of a quote that I had recently read in an academic journal that was about kinship and belonging. And it says, "We witness so much every day that we feel powerless to act on, and that we feel we lack the capacity to do anything about. The desperation and suffering of another human being we pass on the street is a living image of our habit of simultaneously bearing witness and of avoiding or forgetting what we see." Since being placed with an EENP dog, the world looks different. I see people and hardship in a new light. There is hope in nearly every crack and crevice of society. At times, I'm ashamed that it took a dog to help me see outside of my little world, my tiny bubble. So one hot summer day, after I was placed with Fella, Emily Atkins, is Emily here? No. We drove to Caswell Correctional Facility, and it was the weekly dog swap and training check-in for her, but it was a life-changing, transformative event for me. First, there was the reunion with Fella and his trainer, Mike Helms. That was the first moment that took my breath away. The bond between them was so earnest and so sweet, and their affection and their love for each other was palpable. We talked about the ups and downs of daily life, and the trainers asked questions, and they listened carefully, and then there was the next moment that stunned me. The guys quickly and effortlessly troubleshooted the things that Fella needed to work on, and they creatively solved all sorts of issues through training games that completely transformed Fella overnight. Their generosity and caring and willingness, their ability to listen and take action, this was true leadership. But the biggest transformation came in the aftermath. The realization for me that lives intertwine, mine with yours, and we are irrevocably changed because of it. As I listed all the events that have happened as a result of my involvement in EENP, transformation was the word that linked all of them. The change that you see in your lives as a result of EENP and your new furry partner is just beginning. First, there will be the partnership itself, the realization that events in your life that made you feel alone or afraid are not so scary and you are not as alone. Then there is the medical benefit. For us, it is our diabetic A1C dropping, it is preventing seizures in the night, it's the ability to sleep again, knowing you are medically safe, and the enormous drop in anxiety that used to live large in our house. For you, it will be all the big things that you've been training for these last 2 weeks, alerts and mobility, safety and well-being, but then there will be 1,000 little things that you can't predict. Things that the dogs weren't trained for, but they figure out because they're just so darn smart. Maybe you've already seen some of these, but we've had a lot of examples. Like Fella will literally push me very hard into the kitchen when I've forgotten to eat. Or he'll jump on me to wake me up in the night during an extreme low. Or realizing that your dog knows things they didn't know, like the word dinner or dance or Dexcom. Dexcom is our medical device, and he does dance in the kitchen with us. There are unexpected friendships and a kind of advocacy for all sorts of people that will develop when your dog proudly wears his vest, or her vest, out in the world. EENP dogs have superpowers. There's no doubt about that. But today, you're not just getting a nurse or a caretaker or a superhero, you're also getting a dog. A dog who has all these wonderful qualities that dogs just have. Having all these wonderful pups in our house over the last 6 months, I was able to experience their wonderful dogness, their special quirks, I'll give you a few examples. So Fella, when he's getting ready for dinner time, he looks at the bowl, waiting for his food. But Zoe looks up at you with these really sweet eyes, just patiently waiting for her food. Fella at bedtime puts his head as far away from us as possible at the foot of the bed, whereas Jewel, she rests her head on your shoulder, laying on her back. Fella runs very, very hard for his ball, but Hunter, he will jump over Fella, dive into a bush, roll, and triumphantly make the catch. Fella likes to play indoors on a rainy day like a sophisticated gentleman on a croquet court. But Dean, he's like a scrappy little brother begging for attention from his older brother. Fella will sleep through my yoga practice, but Shasta will actually get underneath me during my postures and help me up, even if I don't want to get up. One last thought, and maybe Zuzu will want to tell this story, but Zuzu had to write a fiction story in school, and immediately she knew what she was going to write about. Fella, of course. But this time, as compared to other stories that she's told about Fella being a service dog, she called this story Dog for President. When I think of some of the qualities of a good president, a good leader, and I cross-check them with an EENP dog, well, it sort of makes you think. They are assertive, yes. They take action, yes. They have the ability to listen, yep. They pay attention to detail, yep. They're reliable, yep. They practice effective cross-cultural communication. Yes, these dogs can communicate with anyone. And last but not least, loyalty. Yes, 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 in spades. The only reason not to elect one of these dogs for president is because you need them more. My gratitude to EENP for training leaders, including the prisoners, but more importantly, for humbling me enough to understand that everything seen rightly is service. Suzu, did you want to say anything?
I'm not going to say too much, but these dogs are just truly so incredible, and they will change your life, and they're not only a service dog, but they're a friend. And so congratulations, and I know this is going to be really great for you, and I know these dogs will love you and help you as much as they can.
Most of our teams are dynamic duos. That is a dynamic trio. Terrific trio, probably. All right. So we have gotten to the time in the program that I love the most. It is the leash ceremony, and this is where we officially hand over the leash from us to our clients. Grady is going to go and pick up Zoe. Zoe, for me, is known as a little golden nugget, and it's because she's worth her weight in gold. She is one of the most, she's a dog that relates on a very emotive level, and that is why Julia, Zoe was a perfect match for Julia. Who here remembers what life was like when you were 14?
I do.
Right at that age, you're just on the cusp of, you're starting to be able to do things as well as adults can. You're really starting to grow beyond your parents and your family and do things independently. And Julia is experiencing that moment right now. And Zoe is here to usher her into this new phase of her life. Zoe will be alerting to Julia's seizures to help keep her safe.
And she can also run and go get help when excuse me, when she needs it. And she'll also go and get food and other supplies when Julia is not able to. So without further ado. Thank you. This is why people have a glass of water. Julia, you can head back. You're gonna get, Grady's gonna get Hunter. Hunter is Zoe's litter mate, and actually, their mama, I think, is somewhere in the crowd. Their mama is Adele, and if you look at the little finger points in the back, Adele is used to be a mama and now is the courthouse dog here in Orange County. She works just steps away from where we're standing. And on a fine January day, January 10th, which also happens to be my birthday, Adele looked at me and got up and groaned, and I said, "Oh no." At that time, I was doing all the whelping, and I could see that Adele was not, her labor was not progressing well. So we rushed to Meadowmont Animal Hospital, and the very able-handed Dr. Robertson there performed a C-section, a needed C-section. The whole reason for the C-section is this dog right here, Hunter. He was the first to come out, and instead of going head or butt first, he went sideways. So he was blocking the way for everybody else. As a result, he was the very last puppy to come out from the C-section, and he was not breathing for 25 minutes. I did CPR on this little teeny tiny puppy, and interestingly enough, folks at vet hospitals, they don't know anything about whelping because it doesn't happen very much anymore, so I had this whole group of vet techs watching me. And I was like, oh goodness, because I'm holding a puppy that's not breathing, and not just for a minute or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh goodness, this is looking bad. And then suddenly he went, and I was like, oh my God. And then I kept going, and he did it a few more times, and then he started breathing. So after 25 minutes, he came to life. And now it's time for him to be a miracle dog again, a miracle dog for Aurorah. Aurorah is a UNC student and an activist. When I listen to all the things she does, I get extremely tired. And amazingly enough, she deals, with her disability, she deals with a lot of fatigue. She can faint suddenly, and she can suddenly lose all of her energy. So Hunter will be another miracle dog to get her even more active in her community with forward momentum and helping brace her before she falls, and even alerting her ahead of time so she can sit down before she faints. So without further ado, Hunter is presented to Aurorah. The next dog Grady will get is Jewel. Jewel is another dog that I whelped during this era, and she is perhaps the sweetest dog. She loves contact and prefers to have her entire body contacting you at all times, as is demonstrated right here. And it's a good thing because our client, Jasmine, has been seen in quite a few pictures this week, snuggling up to Jewel as closely as Jewel snuggles with her. Jasmine is a vet tech, so I know that Jewel will be in incredibly able hands. And Jewel will alert Jasmine to oncoming symptoms for her disability. She will also provide forward momentum to help with Jasmine's gait. And she also retrieves things when Jasmine needs them. So without further ado. Our next graduating dog is Shasta. Shasta in the back, there you go. At this time last year, Shasta had 11 puppies that she was just weaning. She's such a fine dog that she was selected as a breeder, and she had one wonderfully large litter for us. Shasta decided that being a mom was fun, but working was even more fun. So she went back into training last summer and worked very hard to get both her body and her brain back in shape. And she's one of our best alert dogs. Ever since she was a little puppy, she was noted as always being correct and right on with alerts when clients would come in, just across the board. Shasta will be graduating with Landon and his mother Tabitha. Yep, we're clapping for you, Landon. Landon has seizures, and Shasta alerts to those seizures. Shasta also goes and gets help, and so we are hoping in the very near future that Tabitha will be able to sleep in a bed that is her own and not her son's. It's training. Very early on in that training, we noted that he was just so relational, as he's demonstrating here. And he was picking up on skills just very, very quickly. And when it came time this spring, at first I thought, I'm not sure that he's ready, but he came into my house and I was like, I think he's ready to go. And it's a good thing because Ryan needed a dog just like Dean. Ryan also has fatigue issues and gait issues, so Dean will be providing forward momentum. As an added bonus, Dean has been alerting when she is about to have what's called a fatigue crisis. And the cool thing is when Dean alerts, Ryan can, it's a cue for Ryan to take stock of like how she's feeling, and several times she's been able to like essentially get into a safe place, slow down, and be ready for the oncoming symptoms. Because of this, Ryan, she's a social worker. She's going to be able to get out and do more social work in her community and be of an even bigger benefit. So without further ado, Dean is going to Ryan. Yeah, I'll take your papers from you. Okay. There you go. And Ryan is also our graduate speaker.
I know. All right, and hopefully everybody can see me okay. Although I'm sure me passing out would make things much more exciting. It'll make my 5-hour drive home much harder, so I will be sitting for this presentation. Can everybody hear me okay? I never know how far to put these. So the tough things first. client team training is probably one of the hardest things I think I have ever done, and I worked full-time through grad school with chronic fatigue syndrome. It's also one of the most amazing things I've ever done. So I am a very type A person, very high anxiety, as I think everybody in my group is very aware now. God bless Deb for her patience with me, leading up to and all through client team training. And I think I can speak for all of us when I say that it was a hard week for everybody. I think we all had our moments where we were having a little bit of a meltdown. Whether that was directly relating to our illness or our kiddo's illness, it was a tough one, and I'm so grateful that I had all the incredible staff and volunteers and other clients to support me. I'm also just really amazed at everybody that I got to graduate with today. I know everyone, sorry, I'm just gonna cry in this, that's just gonna happen. I know every one of you has struggles that didn't even come up through training, and that you've all fought so hard to get here. And it's just really been an honor to get to know all of you, and I'm a better person for it. As well as all of these staff and volunteers in and out of ABEL, and everybody that's here today. It's the most amazing community, and I am so grateful to be a part of it. These dogs represent so much more than just a dog. They carry with them every person that has ever worked with them. Thousands and thousands of hours have gone into these pups, and so many hands have touched them, just so that they can come and they can serve us. And for that, all of that work, I am unendingly grateful. I can say with complete certainty that all of us will give everything that we have to make sure that these puppies are very spoiled, but maintain their training at the same time. We will give them the best lives possible because they give us back our lives. We all have different circumstances, but I think it's safe to say that we all live with some level of fear. Whether that's the fear of a seizure, pain spike, allergic reaction, or passing out, whether it's for us or for our kid if we are a facilitated placement. Living with fear can make it almost impossible to live our lives. At least for me, it started gradually. My world shrunk so small that it felt a little bit claustrophobic, and that is where Dean comes in. Ooh, it's windy, sorry. I think some of the ways that they help aren't even in these big giant ways that maybe you see in news stories or that you think of, but really small ways that you don't expect. I knew that I needed a dog for mobility, and I honestly didn't think going into this that alerts would necessarily be the biggest thing, because I generally don't have full-on passing out. But the first time Dean alerted me, I had to stop myself from crying, which is clearly a theme. I spent 10 years with an undiagnosed neurological condition, 10 years telling myself that it was all in my head and it was all my fault, and that if I just tried harder, I would be able to work through it. As it turns out, trying harder took me from moderately chronically ill to permanently disabled. The 10 years of ignoring my body's needs also made me so distant from it that I really struggle to be able to recognize what I need. Whether it is I need to eat, or if my heart is racing, or if I am about to almost pass out, I oftentimes don't feel it until it's too late, but Dean does. He knows what I need far before I can ever tell, and he lets me know sometimes very, very insistently and over again. Getting out in the world feels so much safer with him by my side, and I know that's how the other clients feel as well. We were all paired with our perfect matches, and now we get to go and live a life that is so much more full because we don't have to fight this battle alone. We have a battle buddy that will be there for all of the really hard and scary moments like seizures, ER visits, being stuck on the floor and unable to move, and they will be there for all of the wonderful moments as well. We did it. We got our dogs. We made it to graduation. Congratulations, and cheers to never, ever, ever even going to the bathroom alone again.
So I told you you didn't want to hear from me, you just wanted to hear from them. I think that the thing I want to say as I wrap up is that when Deb and I founded EENP, oh gosh, are we on 13 years ago now? We had a vision, but our vision was actually one tiny little part of what actually came to be. And I think the thing that has struck me most, the thread through all of it, is this idea of not just second chances, but that we should all be given the chance to make the most of the life that we have. And sometimes that life is in prison, and maybe it's in prison for life. Maybe it is someone who will never get out of prison, and that person should have the opportunity to be a part of their community and to make the most of the life that they have. And maybe it is someone who's in prison and is getting out, and that person should also have the opportunity to make the most of the life that they have, be a part of their community, give something back, and have a second chance. For our clients, it is, sometimes it's a second chance because sometimes clients came to their disability over time. Some of our clients have had a disability their entire lives, so it's not exactly a chance, but it is still that opportunity to be everything that you can be and that you deserve to be. And that we can be even a small part of that is one of the greatest gifts I have ever gotten in my life. I am thrilled for all of you stepping out today into the world with your partners. It's not always going to be easy. It's not always going to be easy for Grady either. It's not always easy for any of us, but what you have is a partner to step through this with you, and you have a team, a community to also step through this with you. So that's the theme of EENP for me. That's what we do and what's so powerful about the work that we do. I have, in that theme, one other person that I want to acknowledge, which is Josh Gerlitz. This, maybe deserved to be at the beginning of the program, but it's going to be at the end. Josh Gerlitz was has been a board member for 9 years, and he was our board chair until last month. And Josh Gerlitz saw EENP through one of our own second chances. He was with us through a hard time, and he has always been the most amazing champion for this organization, and I just want to take a moment for everyone to applaud all that he has done and show our appreciation for him. Because in truth, today would not be possible without Josh's support and belief and having stuck with us through our own hard times. So with that, I'm going to more or less wrap up. I do want to say that we are in the process of moving to Hillsborough, so we have purchased a house that is on Old NC 86, just a few miles from here, and we are renovating it. And so we hope that in a few months being, 3 to 6 to, I don't know how many months because it's construction, but that we will be here in Hillsborough as our permanent home, and we may be returning here for future graduations. I don't know, but I want to say thank you to the Hillsborough community for being welcoming to us and for being a wonderful place for us to move to. And I hope that all of you will support us as we make this transition. We are going to need a lot of help moving, transitioning, finishing up our capital campaign to get into the House. And so our community, all of you, is what's going to make that possible. So here's to Hillsborough, here's to Second Chances. Thank you all for coming.